Green Bay police are working to learn more about what led up to an incident involving weapons, a weapons call that is, at a home this afternoon. Started just before noon. Police, SWAT teams, firefighters, and crisis negotiators closed in on a home on the 1200 block of Day Street. Captain Jeff Brester said that they were called about a disturbance and then learned about a gun inside the home. After police arrived, two people came out peacefully.
The police department and our community never wants to see anybody injured by any weapons during any disturbances like that, so it was nice to be able to resolve this peacefully, and that's one of the reasons that we have our crisis negotiation team and our SWAT team, is to help these types of situations so it doesn't turn into something worse.
Police say they're referring charges against a 31-year-old Green Bay man. The other person was released.